photograph on the site of the castle.
And it was the first time the Beatles had really stopped being semi-professional almost.
Look at that.
Absolutely fascinating.
That's what you do. You buy these clothes that cost money and make a difference in it. But we never do that.
Never complains, gets up, gets on with a smile on his face.
We just want you to sit in your chair and go, hip hip hooray, for the Western press and the Western narrative. You dare dictate the same old, every single day, without this. If you haven't seen it before, please watch the first series, the first 2 episodes, the second series. Stallone. Evening. How about this? You know what this is behind me? Look. I want to believe. How about that? I want to believe. X-Files. That's one of the conspiracy theories, actually, because I want to talk about these particular things. Excuse me. And I'm glad that I'm early tonight. After last night, it was terrible, honestly, 10 minutes late. But anyway, I got here on time, as you can see. I want to believe. That's one of the greatest. This particular picture, actually, it's a real picture. And it was used by the X-Files producers, to put on the wall, Anyway, that's a real picture of a UFO. It's not like an added thing. It's not like drawn on. It's an actual picture. And these are the things, you've got to look at the way conspiracy theories and truths combine and clash. That's what you've got to look at, rather than, just taking things for granted. I don't take things for granted. I really don't, and you shouldn't either. No matter what's said, and, I don't read the Western media anymore. I've seen so much misinformation, disinformation, propaganda, everything in them. And you just can't believe what you're reading anymore. And it's shocking. It really is. Even history books, as you know what my qualifications are. I don't want to go into all that. And I am I reckon I'm a good historian. I really do. I do know things, and you even read certain things about certain people, and you question it. You really question it. Now, I want you to have a look at this particular picture. This is my first one, actually. And people say, oh, that's a conspiracy theory. But just look at it. Look at this. It's not UFO, by the way. That'll be coming later. It's this lady here. Or is she a lady? If you look at her closely, I'll give you the characteristics of her. Right? I'll give you the characteristics of this one. Now, don't forget, you're going back to the 1500s, right? Mid-1500s, mid-16th century. And this one became queen. Yeah. Now, don't forget that the Reformation under Henry VIII, and then we had Edward, he died. He was a 6-year-old boy, who was sickly, died, unfortunately, so he couldn't carry the line on. And it was imperative that you carried the protester line, going back to Rome, protesting against Rome, because the hierarchy in this country made Henry VIII, that is, king of the church, rather than, being submissive, shall we say, to the Church of Rome. So he became, and this Reformation reform, this reform of people saying, no, you belong to this particular church, the Church of England. So this is what you've got to take in, the Church of England. But there was dissidents. They say, no, I don't want to be, Rome is my church. I'm a Roman Catholic. This is what they were saying. This is what they fought over. But I'm not going right up to 1605 gunpowder plot now. I could go to 1601, to be honest. But there's the problem. It was imperative. Mary Queen of Scots, for example, forget Mary Queen of Scots. Queen Mary, known as Bloody Mary, when after Edward, she became queen, and she was Catholic. She said, no, I'm a Catholic. I want to remain a Catholic. So anyway, there was little snides, chomping at the bit to get her removed, but they couldn't get her removed. So what they were doing, they were saying, oh, see them over there, they're plotting against you, they want to get rid of. If I were you, I'd get rid of them first, before the coup starts. So she was signing death warrants left, right and centre. Hence the nickname Bloody Mary. So when she went at the age of 42, she was a sickly woman as well. She was sickly. Now, take his children, Edward, Henry VIII's children, Edward, sickly. This Mary, she was sickly as well. So when she died, who was the rightful owner to the throne? Well, it was Mary, Queen of Scots. But unfortunately, we can't have her as their queen. She's Catholic. So what they did, they got this Elizabeth. Walsingham got this Elizabeth one and made her queen. Now here's the point. Here's the point. It was imperative that she'd marry. Imperative she would marry. Had to marry. To carry on the hair. 12 children, carry on the line of protest against Rome. Carry on, now we know as the Protestant line. So that was it, to carry on the line. She didn't marry. So you've got to ask the question, if she didn't marry, why? Why didn't she marry? Why? And that's the big question. Why didn't she marry? Well, it was imperative to do so. So what you have now is that she couldn't marry because people believed that she was a man. Now let's take the characteristics. But before I go into the characteristics of her, through her life, she never ever seen a physician, no doctors. On her death, it was stipulated that there be no autopsy. Think about that. No autopsy. So why didn't she see doctors throughout her life, her lifespan? She died in 1603. So she was a long-reigned queen. Remember when I said that the children of Henry with sickly children. And yet, from 1554, she went on to 1603. So she was a very healthy person. Healthy, rather than a sickly child, which is hereditary. It was hereditary in his family. So let's look at the characteristics of this girl, this queen. The characteristics. You've got to take into consideration the size of people back in the day, in the 1500s, mid 1500s, the size of them, how tall they were. You've only got to look at, say, like William Wordsworth, for example. If you ever go to Dove Cottage and you go around his house, it's fantastic. I advise you to go there up at the Lake District. And if you look at his bed, very small, very small. Everyone was small. They were smaller than what we are today, as you know. We're giants to these people. Giants. Yet, Elizabeth, was 6'1". 6'1". So you've got this person who's 6'1". She was very hirsute. Her hands were enormous. Big hairy hands. She had a hairy chest. She had no breasts. No breasts. Big feet. She always had to have a ruffle. What you see there, to hide everything. She had a 7 o'clock shadow, and she used this white powder to hide the 7 o'clock shadow. She had male patterned baldness. Male patterned baldness. Think about that. So she always wore a wig. Male patterned baldness. Every artist that was commissioned to do a portrait of her had to have her to look more feminine, with a thin waist. Think about it. With a thin waist. And yet, I'm going to tell you, I hope you can get this in the library, because it's very expensive to buy. Very expensive. It's not like going down and paying £3 or £5 for a book, And you've got to ask, why is this so expensive, the book? And it's 30 odd quid to buy. It's 30 odd pound to buy. And it's called The Bisley Boy. And it's written by an aristocrat. Chris Hunt. So if you buy that, you'd read it and you go, whoa. And it tells you about Elizabeth. It tells you about, you might be able to, I don't know, Google the thing. The Bisley Boy. But as I said, it's very expensive. That's the reason why it's expensive, so that you won't read it. No possibility. But people do. I used to have a copy of it, and I lent it out to one of my students. Never ever got it back, and I forgot who I lent it to. Never ever got it back. I would have read you the extracts from it. Because the original in this book, the original Elizabeth had died, and they dressed this boy up because they were terrified of Henry finding out, because he was executing people left, right and centre. Henry VIII. Was he a good king? I don't think so. I don't think so. So let's fast forward to 1600, 1601, when you had the likes of Robert Cecil, the most powerful man in the whole of the country, who kept their, shall we say, identity secret. So it goes back to him. And apparently, the Earl of Essex, you must have heard of him, you know, seen him in films and everything else, and he was always courting it. He was 13th in line to the throne, by the way. And he wanted to marry her, as you know. Come on, let's get married. He just wants a power. So with all this like going on and whatever, Robert Cecil, he was the Earl of Essex was saying, hang on a minute, what is she? And he was an handsome man. Elizabeth wasn't that good looking, if you know what I mean. And you know, he was saying, come on, let's get married. Yeah, let's get married then, you know. And she was saying no. No, and he was questioning why she wouldn't marry. And people were questioning why she wouldn't marry either. So you've got to ask yourself, well, why didn't she marry then? If it was imperative to do so at the time. At the time. So anyway, he started to question now. So Cecil, Robert Cecil, he said, I've got to get rid of this fella, the Earl of Essex. So what he did, he sent him over to Ireland to take on the Irish. Now, the Earl of Essex, what am I doing here? What's he sent me on? What's he doing? Sending me here? So anyway, he got wind. He got wind that Elizabeth, why she couldn't marry. And it came out that, oh, she won't marry. You know, the spin, this is spin, by the way, at the time. She married the country. She was married the country. That was her only true love. Think about it. Hang on. You know, behave yourself. Right? She's the only monarch not to marry. Think about that. When it was imperative to do so, as I said. So what had happened was, he got wind of it. He got wind of it, Essex. He said, you what? She's a man. She's a man. She's not a woman. Because he'd never ever seen her naked or anything like that. Ever. Ever. No one did. Only 3 maids. Even when she died, she was just thrown in a coffin. They had to break her legs because this coffin was small. So she was stuffed in a coffin. Sealed. That was it. And whatever happened to her, buried. That was it. That was it. What happened to Essex? Well, he was going to have a coup. But there was a spy within his little ring of men. There was a spy, and his name was Lord Monteagle. Lord Monteagle, who was a spy for Robert Cecil. And he was always going back to Cecil saying, you know, whatever it was for anything, any dissidents. Any dissidents, he was, oh, you know, this fella over there and him over there and them over there. Whatever. He was always giving it that to Robert Cecil, the most powerful man in the whole of the country. So anyway, he went back and told Cecil, they're saying that she's a man and they're going to expose the scam by you and Walsingham going back in time about this Elizabeth. What are you going to do? And he's coming over. He's going to have a coup d'etat to overthrow the government and Elizabeth. Anyway, he was captured. It was what you call a bloodless coup, but it wasn't a coup at all. They captured them, put him in jail in the Tower of London, Essex, and Essex was executed. So, with his little ring of men, get onto this. Get onto this. Get onto this. Those men who was with in that circle of friends were deemed a few years later to be the gunpowder plotters. Right? So they had to make something up to get these people. We've got to get these, because these were all wealthy men. These were very important men. So how can we get them? How can we get them? We can't have them together again. Hence the 1605 gunpowder plot. Remember when I gave the gunpowder plot, there was a subplot by Robert Cecil. Remember that? Get rid of them that way. So you see, now, if I know historians in 1984, was it 84? Yeah, 84 and 97, 1997. In 1984, a deputation went up to the Thatcher and said, listen, can we open this coffin and, you know, once and for all? And because it's always been going, whether you've heard about it, I don't know. But these historians said, you know, let's squash the rumours once and for all. Thatcher said no. So they said, why? There's DNA now. Why? And she was given excuses. She just said, no, forget about it. It could be all like dust and everything else by the, you know. And they were saying, no, it won't. Let's open it. Let's make sure. No DNA. Wouldn't even open the coffin that was left. So they had to wait until, I'm sorry about this, I've got this bloody things come out on me again. Anyway, what had happened was, they had to wait until, they said, you'll have to wait for another government, see what government, because these Tories are not going to open it. And when Blair got in, they were right down to him and said, listen, 97, listen, deputation again to Downing Street. And Blair turned around and just said, just leave it. Just leave it. Just let it ride now. Leave it. And it's still the same. It's still the same today. God, I heard something. It's just the same today, unfortunately. They'll never open that coffin. I'll just say hello to you. So, what do you think? What do you think? Right. Oh, Myra, Isn't that lovely? It's going to be a good show, she says. I think. Yeah, it's going to be a good show. Oh, thank you. Thank you for all the effort you put in and all your blogs. Much appreciated. Thank you. Oh, that's lovely. That. Tony says hello to Myra. Says hello to me with 2 pints. Thanks, so. Miss Pimer. Wonderful. And Edward says, Frank's in his new studio. There's a woman who has a big following who believes humans were made by aliens. Wow, says Edward. Well, you know, Gary says, evening Frank, evening Gary. The Red Bird. Been looking forward to this, Frank. Ain't it funny how many conspiracy theories turn out to be true? Yes. Yes, yes, yes. And he says, bless up, Myra. Myra replies back. Gary Rigby. Talking about UFOs, is anyone else getting a bit nervous about alien invasion of Earth on the 4th of December? Talking about that. Red Bears, everyone. I know that Anfield Raw's out and about, isn't he, tonight? I can't wait to go out tomorrow night. That's tonight. The Red Bird says, Gary, the elites are trying to set up a fake alien invasion. Don't believe them. Thanks for stealing me tons of it. See, as I said, you can't believe anybody. Anybody. Watty. Hiya, Watty. Hiya. The UKP. Even if Franco says IBR, even an IBR, it's good to see you. There's Jay. Jay, what happened to you today? And Adam Zappel, thanks very much for I was going to come out with the last one. The last one. That was it. Well done, Jay. Absolutely. She has an Adam Zappel. Shaved every day. Maybe she was half Bigfoot, Frank. Maybe. Bigfoot. Oh, man, isn't it more like Big Mike? You know who Big Mike is, don't you? Michelle Obama, Big Mike. Oh, blimey. We know about her, don't we, Myra? The Redbird says so much knowledge and history is being hidden. It's always been hidden. It really is. You want to? I had to read all these, you know, when I was at uni and whatever. And some of the garbage that was coming out, Redbird, it was incredible. It was incredible. Really was incredible. The garbage. Jeez. Only for Shakespeare. Shakespeare was unbelievable, you know. We used to infiltrate all these things. And you see them all in his plays. Especially the gunpowder plot. Macbeth's speech. Incredible. And all our yesterdays have lighted fools the way to dusty death. Out, brief candle, life has put a walking shadow. A poor player that struts and frets his hour upon the stage and has heard no more. It is a tale told by an idiot full of sound and fury, signifying nothing. If you think that, if you know, and all our yesterdays have lighted fools the way to dusty death. Out brief candle, life is but a walking shadow. The walking shadow was Lord Monteagle infiltrating as a spy for the other fella, which was not terrible. Now, Monteagle, his cousin was Sir Francis Tresham, one of the plotters. One of the plotters. And he survived the wrath of everyone getting locked up. So what he said to him, Robert Cecil said, oh, come on, just be here for your own safety. And they put him in a cell. He said, what for? I'm all right, walking out. I'm okay. Sir Francis Tresham. He said, no, just let it blow over, then, you'll be okay. He died of poisoning 3 days later. So what does that tell you? What does that tell you? Shocking. We only see what they want us to see, says Edward. Spot on. Spot on. And the KP says, sounds like she stroke he would fit nicely now in the House of Parliament with the rest of the freaks. Or in Zitty's freaky show. Gary says, alien invasion on December the 4th, they have kept it quiet. And the Redbird says 100% facts. And KP says, only 5 likes for Mr. Carlyle. Thank you, KP. And what he says looks like a man's face. It is a man's face. They couldn't do it any other way. There are pictures of her where, she's got a smaller nose. But there was some that they went out, whoa, you can't do that. She had a 7 o'clock shadow. On some pictures, they've been destroyed. I don't think they have been destroyed, but most of them have. And there's obviously a few that's been kept back with a 7 o'clock shadow. And even, the hair, as I said, she was very hirsute and hairs on her hand. Ladies don't have hairs on their hands. If they are, they're very fine. My ladies, in times gone by, they've never had big hairy hands. Definitely no hairy chest either. You didn't have to wear ruffles. Body looks like a man's face. Gary, they have the technology to fake an alien invasion, and if they do, sheeple will panic and run, believing it to be real. You're right there, Redbird, simply because, I'll tell you for why. You go back to 1935, was it? And Orson Welles' broadcast on the radio. They didn't know that Orson Welles was reading a bloody story from War of the Worlds. And they believed it, and it did panic them. There was lots of suicides, which I don't know whether you're aware of. Suicides. There was 4 fellas, I'm not saying all in the same spot. They went over cliffs in the car with the families. So this is what you get. This is what you get. And the Redbird says she has a giraffe neck. Honestly, you've only got to think about it. No one had seen her naked. Nobody. The maids. I think there was one, which I read, one maid who walked in on her, while she was bathing. She wouldn't have anyone around her while she bathed. She wouldn't have anyone around her. And she walked in. And that was the last time anyone had seen that maid. Even, even in my favourite Liverpool film, oh, that lovely. KP. Thatcher was an alien. And when Redbird says she has a giraffe neck, I meant she. Wonderful stuff. Thank you, Richard. You're a good man. Thank you. Evening, my favourite Liverpool people. Thank you, Richard. Thank you so much. I haven't got Sean on tonight. He's gone on a Christmas night out. What's a Christmas night out? The Redbird. KP, whoa, she wasn't one of my people. She was a nasty human being, just like most of the turncoat Labour Party. Yeah, I know who he's talking about, Thatcher. Yes. No. Horrible woman. Horrible. You're talking about there, looks like a member of a boy band. Rally the Noose. Gary Rigby says, why would the elites want us to believe there is an alien invasion coming? It's the same as, I'm not being funny when I say this, it's the same telling you why the Russians are so bad. And they have been telling us for years. You've only got to look at films, even going back, in time. And if there's any baddies, it's the Russians. It's the Russians. I was watching John Wick. I like John Wick, by the way. And in one film, I forget what one it was, Wick 4, 5, I haven't a clue. 3, 4, 5, I don't know. And he was fighting the Russian mob. The Russian mob. So the Russian mob, and there's loads of films about the Russian mob. And that's been going on for years. It really has. So if anyone, they always demonize Russians, no matter what. Have you ever noticed they've never done one about Rudolf Nureyev or, any of these great composers like Tchaikovsky? Never done any films about them, have they? Great people of the arts, of culture. Always demonizing the Russian. Ali Danus, our Romanian friend, good evening. Hope you're all well. Yes, Ali, thank you. Thank you for joining us. Thank you so much, Ali. Good man. And Gary says, hey, Redbird, I'm not seeing your comments. I don't know why. And Gary replies, YouTube to Gary. YouTube plays silly buggers. I don't see some chats at times. Blah. You do, actually. And Richard says, alien invasion, divide and conquer. I'm going to talk about this now, okay? I'm going to talk about this thing. So I'm going to take this fella down. Oh, come on. I've got the worst thing in the world, you know. You know, them mice, whatever they are. Drags and it drags up. It's really annoying. It's really annoying and it gets me down. Bloody hurts me as well. Right, give me a minute. Give me a minute. Fuck. Give me, oh, for fuck's sake. See, I can't move it properly. Fucking hell. Stop it. I get frustrated, you know. I don't know where my thing's gone now. Oh, there it is, over there. I'm sorry, Myra, if it's swearing. And the red bird says, Richard, fake alien invasion. Myra says, the aliens are coming, get to the latest vaccination against stupid, safe and effective. I think we've all been, I'm being honest, you know, we've been vaccinated with, you know, against all the stupidness when we were babies and we grew up with, you know, brain cells. Ali the News says, I can't see your comments as well. At Vidbird, yeah, only some. Might be calling me for everything, that's why it's getting banned. Hollywood does a great job of demonizing Russia to the world, says KP. Absolutely. Absolutely. Shocking. Really is shocking. I didn't see it in the mainstream media. You won't. All you see is how bad Putin is and how bad everyone else is, and Kim Jong-un and Jinping and Bashir Assad as well. James says, even if Frank in chat, sorry, ain't been around. The flu took me out. Oh, go away, James. I hope you're well, mate. I really do. And Gary says, I only watch YouTube these days. So do I, Gary. So do I. I really do. Because you see that you're getting the mainstream media now who are criticising social network and the likes of Elon Musk, and they're saying, "Oh, he's not a proper journalist," you know. But the point is, people are coming on, spouting the truth out, and that's what they don't like. They want you to believe everything that they're telling you. But when you go on to different things, and you go, "Whoa, wait a minute. Why are these saying this?" It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. Because you can't follow other mainstream news, the likes of Double Down News. Don't get that on that Democracy Now crap from America. Get onto the Joran. The Joran's brilliant. Alex Christoforou and Alexander Mercurius. Alexander Mercurius is British. He's British. And also Christoforou, he's an American. They've got Greek connections, you know, through names and that. So get onto the good. Get onto Judge Napolitano, Judging Freedom. The guests he has on are absolutely amazing. And I would love to know what's in Area 51. Yeah, being informed, presidents don't know its full disclosure of things it's up to. I'll tell you what happened to me. I was I was in Germany. It was the worst experience I ever had. I went over there teaching, strangely enough, when I got banned here. So anyway, I went over there, mad. And there was this girl, this German girl, Gerda. So anyway, I got to know her, and she's a lovely girl, girl. And she said, "Oh, would you like to go with me at the weekend to a big festival?" I said, "Yeah, all right, great." So anyway, she came in German dress, big plaits. I didn't recognise her because she had this long, flowing blonde hair and very thick hair as well, beautiful. And anyway, so she came up with plaits, hair back, plaits, a big hair flower in her, and this outfit, like that you see Germans have. And we went to this festival, and I tell you what, they were all neo-Nazis. I said, "I'm fucking going, hey, get me out of here." I was frightened, and being honest. "Why are you going? Why? Why?" She used to call me Francis. "Why are you going, Francis?" I said, "I'm just going." Anyway, I got a lift. This American, and he pulls up. He'd been to a place called Garmisch, and he said, "Where are you going?" I said, "I'm going to a place called Tübingen. It's just by," and he said, "Okay, I know where it is." I said, "Thank you." So anyway, he gets in, and what he was after, believe it or not, AWOLs. Oh, this is in the 80s. He was after AWOLs, away without leave, soldiers who just, he said, he said, "I just got back from Thailand. Just got back from there, and I've been in Germany for 6 weeks, catching them." I said, "Oh, okay." That was, and it was a long journey. It was like a 4.5 hour, 5 hour journey. And we stopped at a Ristata, had a cup of tea, coffee, whatever we had. We got back and he said, "Do you want a beer?" He had a little fridge in it. I said, "No, thanks." So anyway, as we were traveling, I said, "What's all this about, secret bases and everything in America?" And I told him, and I told you, what I seen, what I experienced in France. And he mentions Area 51. Now, no one knew about it then. Nobody. I said, "What's that?" He said, it's a secret base that's in the mid-America, he said. That's all he said. Wouldn't tell me where or whatever. And he said, "We've got alien craft with bodies frozen. They were dead." He said, "Apparently, well, one's still alive, and they're keeping them alive. Or, keeping it alive," he said. And that's what he said. And I said, then all of a sudden, like a few years later, what came out? Area 51. And that's what he was on about. An alien craft and everything else. And there's a fella by the name of Bob Lazar. Now, Bob Lazar, this is how powerful the authorities are anywhere in the world, anywhere. I'm not being funny, not just America, but here as well, no matter what. So, what they said, They wanted to keep a fella by the Senator Goldberg. Someone tried to assassinate him. And he was in a wheelchair. But he wanted to know what was inside there. And he was all right then. Then all of a sudden, someone tried to take him out. Think about it. Think about that. And no one can say, nobody. Now, it was reputed that Jimmy Carter, also Clinton, I don't like Clinton, by the way, for his dirty politics. So anyway, they reckon that they seen it, the Peanut Man, which is the other fella, and Clinton, they supposed to have seen one, right? So this is what you have. And you have the likes of you have the likes of Bob Lazar. Now, the Peanuts president, he never spoke about it much. He never spoke about Jimmy Carter, I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. And he's still alive today. He must be 388. He's still alive, that man. And he was warned not to talk about this particular thing. He only came out and said it a couple of times. That was it. Whoa, shut up. Now, Bob Lazar, he came out and, he was a whistleblower. One of the first whistleblowers that you hear of. And he said, we've got them. Then they wanted to kill him. But he went to this fella named George Knapp. Who was a radio and television presenter. Have you ever seen a film called, I think it's a great film, by the way. It's called 3 Days of the Condor. 3 Days of the Condor. I'll be posh. 3 Days of the Condor. Robert Redford. Just watch that. What I'm going to say is, it's not about UFOs or anything. It's about termination. And if you've seen it, you'd know what I'm talking about. You be eliminated. Right? Anyway. Did I say termination instead of elimination? I'm sorry. Anyway, you get this Bob Lazar, and when he went to George Knapp, he said, you'll be all right because we just come out and expose it if anything happens to you. So he couldn't do anything, really, they couldn't do anything. But what they did was incredible. They took his proper identity, well, university where you're at, blah, 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 and they erased it. They erased everything. Even got people, say you went to Liverpool University, and he said to me, do you know Bob Lazar? Yeah, he's a cracking fella. He's a physicist, I think, whatever. You don't know him. I'd say we used to have a cup of tea with him. No, you don't know him. You fucking don't know him. Okay. So these people were threatened that they didn't know everything. They even got one of his girlfriends, she said, I didn't know. And he has a photograph of it, him and me, on a beach somewhere. Or in the mountains with hiking or something like that. He has a photo, he said, that's it. I don't know. That's a fake photograph. So this Bob Lazar, he exposed everything. Now I'm going to show you something. I'll just go through these, I'm sorry. I'll go through these and I'll show you what I did. Gary, some YouTubers talk nonsense. You have to suss out the good ones. The invasion will be fake. Trust me, you have no need to worry. See what I mean about people worrying? I tell you, I tell you what I'm worrying about. I don't want to be. Every morning I wake up. I don't want to be waking up to a blinding white flash. That's what I don't want to be waking up to. You know what I mean by me saying that. I'm worried. I'm worried what these idiots, these horrible neocons, globalists are doing to the world. That's what I'm worried about. Redbird, Sean Atwood gets some great guests on. He has whistleblowers talking about the diddler being interesting and disgusting. What went on at diddlers' parties? Yeah. And you're getting these. I was there, but I never done nothing. Oh, fuck off. Go away. You were there and you done that and behave yourself. Joe Rogan's good. If you ever get to know about Joe Rogan. James says, Frank, do you originally know where 007 came from? There was a very close advisor to Queen Victoria. I forget his name, but he was into the dark arts, and letters from him to was signed by 007. 007, I interviewed Daniel Craig's granddad, and he told me all about things. And little did he know, this is before he came there. This is before he came James Bond, by the way, Daniel Craig. But what a story he told me about himself. Fantastic. And he got to know Ian Fleming well. They were mates in intelligence. James Bond was based on a real life fella. Just like Sherlock Holmes was, Did you know that? This fella, he was, at university, whatever, amateur sleuth he was as well. Incredible. And Richard says, I know of Bob Lazar. Oh, yeah, look. Yeah, look at that. I just mentioned Joe Rogan. Bob Lazar has been on Joe Rogan. Oh, that's good. And Richard says, Reagan also seen a UFO. And Jimmy Carter is 100, says Gary. Point is, I'm going to show you mine. What I picked. Okay? You ready for this? Ready for Frank's thing? Through it. Now I showed Jason has put a certain picture up, unfortunately. Let me see if I've got it. Let me see. I bet it's Jason. Just bear with me for a minute. Yeah. I don't think I censored this one. I've got to, if he's there, Jason, please pick this up. I've got to show you this one. This one. Just bear with me on this. Bear with me. Hope he's got it. Should have it, but it's whether he's, if he gets it, brilliant it is. But I've got two. But I mustn't have short. I mustn't have. Let's see if it. I'm sure it's in it. You know. No, it didn't. Fuck. You only got the two. Should have been three. Oh, sorry about this. Anyway, have a look at this. Now you see that? Now, where you've got that thing streaking through the sky, to the right, just above like that pyramid there are two lights. That's a plane. That is a plane. And I took that picture. I went, whoa. Then it rewound it back. And I went, whoa. Because the other picture that I've just sent to Jay, like if Jay is there, he's listening in or whatever, he'd send me it through. And I got a picture where those two lights are. Where those two lights are. It was right, it just right underneath. It was right, it came. The trajectory was going up and it was right underneath it. Right underneath it. I'm going to see if I can show you it on this. I hope I can. I'm going to take that down. I've got it on my phone here, what I sent to Jason. Right. I hope you can see. Oh, please see this. Can you see the plane? The two lights of the plane? Well, that's on a trajectory going up. Yeah? Yeah, that's on a trajectory going up. Right, so can you see it? Just let me know if you can see it, please. That's on a trajectory going up. Going up from the right. It just appeared. It just appeared from nowhere. Could you see that? Please let me know if you've seen that. I'll show you this again. Let me show you the others. I've just got an answer, Jay. Sorry about that. Sorry. Really sorry about that. Let me know if you've seen that. He's out, unfortunately. So with his little granddaughter. Let me know if you've seen it. Oh, thanks, Redbird and KP. Thank you so much. Thank you. Right, so go back. Freedom Journey. I saw a UFO on the horizon north Liverpool when I worked on the Royal. Go away. That where Trump said he'll open JFK files on Joe Rogan podcast. He won't get a chance to do it. I tell him, you know. KP. Apparently Shagar and Lord Lucan are in the area. Right, I'm going to show you that again before I bring on, before I do the other one, right? Just bear with me. Right, so you've got, right, oh, for fuck's sake. I'm trying to get the best. Yeah, look, I think that's the best I can do. Right, so you've got that on a trajectory going up. Those two lights above that flash there, that's a plane. They're the lights of a plane. Okay. Give you more detail there. Right. Now that was underneath. It just all of a sudden, it just appeared. Wow. Couldn't believe it. And it went from there to the right, from the right up. That trajectory was going right up. As I said, it just appeared, and I went, oh, I couldn't even tell how fast it was. Couldn't even tell how fast it was. And there's the plane there, over at that pyramid. And there it is. There it is. Look at that. It's going at a phenomenal speed. Phenomenal. And the plane is still in the same place. The plane is still in the same place, if you think about it. There. And the plane is just, it hasn't moved. It hasn't moved. It's that fast, that thing. It just appeared. I'm going to try and show you. Just please bear with me. Please. Please bear with me. No, I'm awfully sorry. I can't. I just. It was incredible anyway. It was incredible. And that's. I tried to put it on, you know, there. I can't do things like that. I'm useless. So what you think of that, boys and girls? Look at it. And I had an astronomer on a couple of months ago. And he was on last week with me. He's a nice fella, lovely fella. And I questioned him about that. I said, what's that? But, you know, he said, it's debris. He said it was mysterious. He said, but it's debris, you know, falling from the sky. space debris. And I said, but if you look at the trajectory, I said, it's going up. It's shooting up. And he went, he never argued or anything. He didn't say it's going up, it's not going down. Honestly, it was going up. It just appeared, as I said, when I showed you this picture, honestly, I'll take that down. Honestly, can you see it? There's the lights of the plane just above. That went from the extreme right of that sail, right underneath, honestly. At a phenomenal speed. Phenomenal. And I take that and look at it. From bink to bink. And just disappeared. Just disappeared. Which was unbelievable. That freezes, The Ottomans here. Does anyone see the Flint Dibble episode with J.R.A.? What's that? Flint Dibble. Is that P. Diddy? IBR says David Icke calls Trump, Rogan, Musk all controlled opposition. Well, I don't like what Trump's done. I really don't know what Trump's done, I'm being honest, because he's bringing in these globalists. A fella named Kellogg, he just wants to give loads of, he wants to fucking nuke Russia. And he's brought him along as a negotiator. Ukrainian. You can't make these things up. James, that's what I love about Frank. If something is annoying him, Tourette's kicks in, true scouser, you never walk alone, walk on. I'm going to check John Lear out. Sounds interesting, Richard says the Red Bird. And KP, should we all meet up after Christmas? No, you meet up before Christmas, KP. What's the matter with you? And KP said, Frank, that's Father Christmas. And the Red Bear's amazing pick, Frank. Thank you. Thank you. And pilots must see some crazy stuff sometimes in their life. Says James, try and catch, this is before he dies, by the way, Buzz Aldrin. Now, don't forget him and Neil Armstrong. He walked on the moon while Collins was in the spacecraft going around, which is phenomenal. And what he said, I think it was after 2 days he was gone, he said, there's a bogey following us. and that was all shut down. Now he's coming out and saying what he's seen. He said we were terrified, and I'm talking about on the moon. He said we were terrified. There's bases there. So if they wanted to do something to us, you know, mankind, if this. And KP said, yeah, there could have been a weapons test fire. No, that's impossible over the airfields. I understand. It just appeared. It just went, pew, just appeared. I couldn't even find where it, you know, when I played it back. Should have videoed it, but it was too fast. And James says he you know, he was thinking of the same what KP said. Frida, it looks too fast for debris. It was gone in a blinding flash, honestly. It just appeared. And I wonder what it was, you know. What's that? I will show you this. I'll show you this, because I thought, I wonder if it's a, you know, a shooting star, one of these things. But what's going on? Show you something. And I got a shooting star. For this here, I actually filmed it. And it's just to prove, honestly, let's see. Gotta be good on this, right? You see the photograph of me with black hair. I didn't recognise myself. Right. I hope you can catch this because it's very quick. Now, when I show it, look at the very top of the screen. Oh, please! I hope you can catch it. Say, if Jason was here, he'd just put us up and you'd be able to see it. And it only goes to once, right? Get into this. Oh, I hope you. Don't forget, middle of the top screen, more to the left of the middle of the screen. Okay, top of it, the very top. Just look up there. Oh, I hope you catch it. Oh, you missed it, didn't you? Oh, try as it. Oh, fuck off. Try as again. Oh, what's going again? Right, I'll try it again. But that was the end product. This, look, it's exploded. See it? It's exploded. But you can see the trajectory going down, can't you? Right? Let me see if I can do this. Where is it? Is it that way or that way? That way. Let's see. If I could do this. Right. Oh, fuck off. No. Hang on. Does anyone see it? Do that again, eh? I don't know what way it is. Right, hang on. Bear with me. Oh, fuck off. No, that's not it. Right, watch it. Top screen, you know, there. Top screen. Do you see it? It's the most exciting thing I've ever done. Oh dear. KP, you've definitely caught something there, of course. Of course. That's right, Redbird. I used to have a mate who was a helicopter pilot. He was, he used to bring people out and he used to only do small flights down to oil rigs, up to the oil rigs and that, in Scotland. And he said that it was a morning and he was picking these lads up. You're supposed to pick them up overnight, but it was too stormy, the weather, so they couldn't. So it calmed down the next morning, so we went. And he said he's seen this huge thing, and it was stationary in the air as he was going, towards this oil rig. He said, and it just went up at a phenomenal speed to the left of him, the left as he used to away. How about that? The situation's moved intolerable. I just cannot get my faculties right, Frank. That was King Charles that when he was a prince. Even in all, music from Dixon of Tuck Green playing in the background. Evening go. Oh, of course. Yes. Thank you, Johnny. I was a trumpeter, but now I'm wondering if he and the rest are controlled opposition. Do you know what I was thinking there, Redbird? Here's my thoughts on that. What I'm saying, I'm going to fucking sort this out. Because what Biden's doing is despicable. He's trying to start a third world war and go, right, it's his fault, he's done this. He's done this. Trump, blaming Trump. Because I'm not being funny with Americans. Some of them are fucking thick. Honestly. Some are really thick. So they believe anything. They believe anything. So they was, albeit that he's been in for 4 years and he started all this nonsense in Ukraine. He did start it, by the way. It wasn't Putin. He started it all and escalating now. And he wants, well, it's not really him. I don't think he's compos mentis, to be honest. I think I don't think, I know. It's Blinken and Jake Sullivan, those two pair of pricks. And he only had to pick Bolton, didn't he? That would be the ideal hand. But what you've got the Senate who vote people in. And when he got Tulsi Gabbard, I was made up with her. She should have been the Secretary of Defense. And his top advisors should have been Douglas McGregor. And under law, Judge Napolitano. These are the people he should have got in. Not this Kellogg fella. Look at that Getz. Sexual thing, with him. And he's out now. And he's brought in this horrible one who wants to bomb everybody. Woman. Another neocon, like Hillary Clinton, like Victoria Nuland, like Nikki Haley. What a... Sorry to go on there. It's got nothing to do with conspiracy theories. It's only that Redbird's what he said. I totally agree with you. Oh, fuck. The Redbird. Are you in your history room, Frank? Everywhere's my history room. Yeah, it's this is, I just used this. My little Mikey. And the Redbird said, "Yeah, I seen it, Frank. I made up." And seen it, Frank, says Richard the Oaks. Oh, thanks, Richard. Ottomans. Yeah, Ottomans. Love that. Ottomans. You can't make these names up. Yep. James said, "I seen it, Frank. It just disappeared." That's what happens. But I was fucking hell, so I videoed it. I should have waited a bit longer, shouldn't I? Like a minute or so it could be like show you. But I've got to. But at least you've seen it. See that? The proof is that's going up. See, that's going up at such a phenomenal speed. It's not falling down. It's little shooting stars just go the way I showed you. Just like drop. Well, good you all not sounding there is, but just drop. Anyway, I shouldn't have said that, should I? I saw it on the 10th playback. I'll piss off you. Ali Denise says, Wales is so down at the moment. I really don't know what's better now. Because what I see is that nobody care about the people anymore. Look, I've been looking at Georgia, I've been looking at your country, and, they're all wanting colour revolutions and everything else. Just because Georgescu won. And they're blaming TikTok. That's how bad the neocons are, the globalists. And they're all American. And now the European, the EU, they're a bunch of... I don't believe any US president has been his own man since JFK. You're so right. You are so right there, Derek. Believe me, JFK was the last of them. And Bobby Kennedy, unfortunately, they got shut of him even before he became president. The CIA are horrible. Funny enough, just before I came on, I was watching something and it said they arrested an FBI agent. And I went, oh, great, I'll put it on YouTube. And I went, what's this? Sexual perversion against a girl. So I just finished that. Know what I mean? They're all fucking at it. Sorry for swearing, Myra, listening. But you're right there, Derek. Good comments. I saw a TR3B in the Dominican Republic in 2007. Went from overhead to the horizon in seconds in complete silence. Think how long a jet fighter takes to do that and how noisily. The USA have unreal tech, in my opinion. The bulk of the Senate, in my opinion, is owned by control corporate. Of course they are. Derek, of course they are. Big Pharma. Why do you think, the Americans would love the hands on the NHS, our NHS? They would love it. They were all insured. We'd have to all get insured. I'd be fucking dead now. Without our NHS, I would have been dead 2 years ago. And a lot of other people as well. By life-saving operations. Richard Hawkins. Frank, I see you have Mulder's poster up in the background. I want to believe, yes. Yes. And Derek says, yet they haven't got weapons that can move like that. Like the Russians, strange, yeah. Orishnik, is it called? They don't need any nuclear heads either. Those are devastating. If they hit something, they burrow underground, blow up, and everything on top of ground is dust. And that's without nuclear. Arishnik, they're called. But he's got others as well that haven't even been tested. And they said, if you want us to fucking test them, we will. That's the poop for you. Remember Eisenhower parting speech from office as he warns us about sabotage? Yes, I do. I do remember. Yeah, the Sabbatean cult. That's a good point there, actually, IBR. Myra says, hey, Frank, do you think humans are bioengineered by the aliens? The thing is, I'll say this. And if anybody can tell me who built the pyramids? Now, the carbon copied 10,000 years ago. Each pyramid, there's Giza, for example. But I don't know my finger I'm putting. There's Giza there. No, there's Giza there. And there's the Mayan temple there. And yet, they're in complete line with each other. And when you go around, you know those statues that are looking out to the sea? Those big face things looking out to the sea. They're in line with them as well. And how did they get those, which is tons, to move one stone, get onto this? You'd have to have every fucking human being on the planet to move them. You're going back 10,000 years ago. 10,000 years ago. You're going back. Think about it. No disrespect to, Egypt or the South Americans. No disrespect. No disrespect. But I don't think, let's take an Egyptian, came out and went, just sitting throwing these things. And the beam of Syria, the star Syria, could go in the top and bounce around, bing, 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 into the Pharaoh's tomb. Even today's technology cannot build up. They tried, but a bit smaller version. Couldn't do it. And also, do you ever remember that hotel, 7-star hotel in Dubai? Dubai or not Dubai, that is the question. Do you ever remember it? And it was like that. I forget what you called it, the tower or whatever it's called anyway. And they built it like that, the shape of it. And little mad boats they have. And it moved. And loads of engineers had to go in to lift it up again. Just like the Leaning Tower of Pisa. The Leaning Tower of Pizza Hut. That's what they had to go in and do that. Yes, a pyramid that's 10,000 years old, 6,000 years old, 10,000 years old, whatever fucking age it is, has only moved less than 1/4 of an inch. Think about that. They still can't get into the Sphinx, can they? Albeit that there's something there to get into. And what do they reckon's inside there? What do they reckon? Get any idea? So humans, I read somewhere that, to be honest, Myra, that these, has anybody seen the film 65? Excuse me, I'm not doing nothing naughty. I must have. Please. I'm gonna give myself a lucky shot to pull up the thing that's underneath there. Underneath this. Please. What do you think is in that Sphinx? What do you think? Because if anybody's seen 65, the film 65, and don't come up with any stupid numbers, please. If you've seen 65, give you some idea what Myra's saying. That's all I'll say on that. That's why I recommended it. Watch it. You can get it on YouTube. Adam Driver, great actor. Son half like him. IBR says big pharma already control our NHS and the assisted suicide bill, which will see suicide become a very profitable business. Fucking horrible, yeah. Horrible. Well, I would explain the missing link. You see, look, there's more things to it about UFOs and things like that, you know. Imagine, I'm freezing, you know. Imagine this. A UFO lands. A UFO lands. Has anybody seen Arrival? The film Arrival, with Amy Adams and Jeremy Renner. Has anybody seen it? Has anybody seen 65? If you watch that, you know, people would panic. People would panic. Now, look, I told you about France and me and what I saw. Right? Now, imagine, let's go back 2,000 years ago until the AD 43 Claudian invasion of this country. Britain crossing the Oceanus Britannicus, which is the English Channel. Right? Get to you. And they're all running up and they're all running away and trying to fight them, and they've all got big things and we've got little sticks. They've got catapults, they've got everything to defeat us. No problem. But just imagine if we had machine guns and all these high-tech planes and swooping down, helicopters and everything, fighting these lads, fighting the lads, all the Romans. They wouldn't get to the beach. Mind you, they would today, wouldn't they? They're all landing on the beach in dinghy. But I'm saying if you go back in a time machine, you see, so what kind of technology if these people, see, I go on the theory of Einstein bending time and space. Bending. So you're there, see, like you're there, and the constellations there. All of a sudden, you bend, you're there. Instead of being there. See what I mean? Time travel. But these things are so far superior. It's unbelievable. I watched a film called Michael Rennie, where all of a sudden this thing appears. And it was great. The dialogue in it was brilliant because he said, I'm not interested in your squabbles. We've got an interplanetary system there and we all live in peace. And you've got squabbles. What he was talking about was the Cold War at the time. The Cold War at the time. See what I mean? So you see, you've got this sort of scenario where people today are looking at different leaders of the world, and they all say that they're horrible. We can all be horrible. You know, we can defend ourselves. But you've only got to look at America and the British and Iraq. Now, Iraq was invaded under lies. Think about this. Please just think about this. Iraq was invaded with lies. Lies. It was a sovereign country. They come in, killed 1 million Iraqis. 1 million of them went, killed them. Just killed them, bombed them, knocked them, executed them, done everything to them, tortured them, killed them. Captured Saddam Hussein, executed them. For defending his country by foreign invaders. You think about that. You think about that. For defending his country and his people against foreign invaders. He killed 1 million of his people, grabbed him and executed him for defending his people. Has anybody ever fucking thought about that? Because I have for a very long time. What they did. The Americans and the British. Horrible people. I'm not saying all Americans, are horrible. But as the Redbird said, I was made up with Trump when he said, I'm going to fucking stop this. This is nonsense, this. But look who's bringing into power. He doesn't need the money yet. He was taking $100 million off a woman named Edelson, a Jew, who wants the war in, Israel to keep on going until they wipe out. Genocide, it's genocide. While we sit back, that's how the fucking world is. We're sitting back watching genocide happen against little children, babies, you name it. And you've got to believe in the BS that's coming out of the West. BS. America especially. America. covert operations all over South America and Middle East. And Ali the Noose has joined us. They're trying to do it. They're trying to put in power this woman. And she's being heavily defeated. And they're blaming TikTok. They don't want him in. They don't want him in. Because this woman is, if Ali's listening in, she's a fucking American puppet, mate. She's a puppet for the neocons and the globalists. And your country will be destroyed by the EU. Georgia, they're getting out of the EU. They said, fuck you, we're going. And they're all going, oh, you can't do that. You can't fucking do it. We're doing it. Fuck off. As far as I'm aware, with all the technology now, but they still can't replicate a pyramid, I heard. No, I just said that before, didn't I? Sure I did. Where's your flight? No, no. When I said what you think's in, what you think is in the Sphinx. My great, even greater, more than greater granddad, well, he was very old, helped build the pyramids. I think we were all little Arabs. I was waiting for someone to say Mo Salah. Mo. Richard Hawkins. Well, Graham Hancock from the UK reckons there is a possibility of a lot of libraries inside the Sphinx. Brilliant. Brilliant. With technology that's been unheard of even then. And I forget who it was who said, I'm sorry for I've come out in this bloody thing. He said they won't open it. They won't be able to. He said not now. They're not ready for it to be opened. Albeit they'd love to open it. He said, but one day it will be, if we're still here. Man is destroying itself. And he said that about, I'd say about 25, 30 years ago, this fella. Who built the pyramids? Think about it. You've only got to look at Stonehenge. The fuck did they get them big heavy stones? They had nothing. We were still living in mud huts with straw roofs. Hey. See what I mean? Too late to do another theory. There was a few murders I wanted to do. A few murders. But I will do them at some point. I might do them next week. I'll do it halfy next week. These are not like assassinations, you know. These are murders that have been covered up. Shocking. Shocking. You know, mysterious ways. There's a fella by the name of Frank Olson. And he was a scientist working for the I'm going back to the early 50s. I'm going back to like the Korean War and to the 50s. And all of a sudden, he committed suicide. And it devastated us. He had a little son and his wife. And once the lads, Frank Olsen's son's mother died, he delved into it because he said, my dad was murdered. My dad was murdered. Frank Olsen. And someone told him. He said that he took LSD. He was working on LSD for troops. But he said, I've had enough of this. Then he wanted to go further because they were going like zombies. And that's what they wanted. Zombie troops. Like mechanical. And then just go straight. That's what they were like. And he said, I've had enough of this. I'm going to expose this. So anyway, when he was found dead, in New York, jumped out of a window apparently. So when his son looked 30 years later into it, it was impossible. Because the fella he was with said he took LSD and just jumped out the window. And that fella made one phone call to somebody, to the CIA, and said, Olsen's dead. Put the phone down. That was the one phone call. And as I said, like 30 years later, when his son investigated it, he got his body exhumed, and there was no traces of drug. Anything, in his bones, because it still stays there. Also, this fella said, when you look at the pictures of the room and everything, for him to commit suicide, he was about to go right back, run with all his might, jump through the blinds that were right down, by the way, blinds, go through very strong pain, I forget what they call this glass, to go through it. He said he would have just bounced off the glass, even if there was no blinds there. And when you look at the photos, the blinds were perfect. And the pain down. He said it was impossible. You might say, oh, well, he opened the window and jumped out. No. So you have all this. He hated biolabs, bio warfare. The Americans wanted them. And what was Hunter Biden doing in Ukraine? What was he building on the borders of Russia? Biolabs. Hunter. Why isn't he in jail? But that fella, I don't know whatever happened. I forget what happened. I'm just giving you a summary. I'll try and find out what happened to him. I mean, about this lad saying about his dad. His name was Eric Olsen, the lad. And he said, my dad was murdered. Murdered by the CIA. Murdered by the authorities. See, so, you get lots and lots of things like that. Lots of deaths. I gave a lecture once, believe it or not, about Spring-Heeled Jack. Spring-Heeled Jack, yes, he was a real life thing. It's that time of year, Frank, where long johns are required. You're spot on. I've got what do you call them? You know, that flannel net, sheets. God damn, great. Waiting for our Francine to come down and change my bed. And flannel net, pyjama bottoms. Great. Love it. Keep me warm. But you're right. Myra says the pyramids are alone with Orion's belt. Yeah. I know that, if you think of anyone building pyramids, you'd say it was the Greeks, wouldn't you? The Greeks. And yet it wasn't, it was the Arabs. But I don't believe they did. I'm just saying, in comparison, you go, oh yeah, Greeks, they were great philosophers, great mathematicians, and Pythagoras, people like that. Unbelievable. But no one knows these little Mr. Arabs. Only know Mo Salah running down the wing. P.S. It's a family secret, Frank, so don't tell anyone about me. Great. Richard D. Hawkins, yes, Arrival. Great film, though. Frank being on this planet 72 years, ain't seen no. Well, I've seen it. I've seen two things, or experienced two things in France. I was there. One was that what I said a couple of weeks ago. And the other, I was trying to get to, this fella just fucking dropped me off. Terrified. Alone. In France. And you know the old song, Lost in France? I was lost in France. Walking down this lane, hedgerows. Nothing around. And I mean, nothing. Trying to get to Strasbourg. To see Kind Kevin for a little girl. Well, anyways, what I experienced walking on my own. No cars, no vans, no nothing. And you know what I could hear is, like grass blow. Have you ever heard of, have you heard when grass is blowing, if you know what I mean? It's a shh. That's all that I heard. And I was walking down this, and I was praying to God. Because I looked at my watch, oh, it's going to become dark here. Because it goes darker earlier there than it does back in here. I said, please, God, please let something come. Please. Walking down. I'd like to, have a second. And what I experienced was absolutely incredible. IBR. I think the grey aliens are humans from the future, and they are a hybrid that has begun when we started the transhumanism 2.0 agenda and the upgrade of our DNA via vaccines. Wow, that's some theory. That's a fantastic theory, that IBR. Really is. The pyramids, the Georgia Guidestones, it's still a strange world we live in. Has anybody ever read Max von Zeineken, Chariots of the Gods? In there, there's a totem. A totem was found in the middle of a jungle in Peru. Peru. And yet they took samples of it. There's 68,000 things that make up metal. 68,000. And they couldn't find this. And as a scientist said, I don't think we'll find it on Earth. The elements. And I'll tell you another thing as well. So, like, what's buried in the pyramids? Well, you know, when you break it open, you go, oh, look, we've got in here. What you see besides the sarcophagus? What you see? Do you know what you see? Cats. Statues of cats, black cats. Like that. Don't you? Do you know, of all the species and everything else, from cockroaches to whatever, even do you ever remember the nurse coming around the schools? Oh, give you the letter to bring home. Okay, girl. Anyway, they've got this, you know, the origins of them. They've got the origins of everything except cats. Did you know that? So who built the pyramid? I'll have to finish, boys and girls. I'll just get right down. That's the $1,000,000 question, Frank. Should it all stay unknown because it would cause chaos, mate? If the old truth came out, it would murder religion and everything that we believed in or believe in. Everything. Redbird, Richard, there looks like a tunnel under the Sphinx. They found it with radar machine. Look, but soon after that, Egyptian, who's in charge of what and where? Archaeologists dig banned from searching further. That's an excellent point there. I guess who owns, this is what infuriates me. Who owns the purse strings? I'm going back, must have been 20 years ago, in the 90s. And St. Petersburg is the Venice of Russia. And it's a beautiful city, you know. And they've got great art. And they ask for money, you know, of UNESCO. And they refused. UNESCO refused, you know, to save like some of the stuff and everything else in St. Petersburg. And they said, why? Well, UNESCO, by the Americans, if you know what I mean. If you get my gist. The Americans own everything. I remember, I go to Italy quite a lot. And Pompeii and Herculaneum were asking for money. And they turned around about, no, And America came back and went, tell you what, we'll give you something through this. We'll give you, has anybody been to Pompeii? I have, 46 times. Right, so you get there and you go in. Incredible. And you know what they said, the Yanks? Answer this. Tell you what, to earn money, let's build a theme park outside of Pompeii. And you could have all the money you want. Like a fucking Disneyland. Some culture they've got, hasn't it? Richard Hawkins, the day the earth stood still. Thank you. You're right. The day the earth, great Michael Rennie. Watched it. They're not interested in all your stupid squabbles. Great line. Great line there. Isaac Asimov came close, says Derek Saraf. Isaac Asimov. The other theory is that we live in a simulation and alternate dimensions and time are intertwining. Says IBR. I watched a film, you know, forget what it was called. Came to me then. I'll tell you who was in it. If you look up Lawrence Fishburne, and it's a cracking little film. And it's more or less what you're saying there, IBR. What's the name of it? I'll mention it tomorrow on tomorrow's show. I'll look it up. And it's worth a look. Unknown stars, I already knew this fella. Lawrence Fishburne, great actor, good black actor. Good, Lawrence Fishburne. And the gold dinar is what done Gaddafi. Look at BRICS. They're sort of that. Won't take them all, you know, but it will destroy the dollar. Dollarization is on its way. The de-dollarization is on its way. And Nelly, you know, mentioned about that woman. She supports democracy. Do you think there's democracy in this country? Do you think there's democracy in France? Do you think there's democracy in Germany? Do you think there's democracy in America? Where you're told to shut up and do as you're told and don't say anything? Where you can get locked up for demonstrating or protesting? Is that democracy? Do you want that democracy? Or do you want your own sovereignty? Do you want the EU to be telling you what to do? And if you don't do as you're told, we'll sanction you. Same as the Americans, sanction. And if you don't sanction, we'll go in and bomb you and do a covert operation. A colour revolution or a coup d'etat, like they did in the Maidan in Kiev in 2014. Do you want that democracy? Is that democracy, Ali? Really, is that democracy? Is that what you want? You're welcome to it. But I hope Georgescu wins it. I really do. It'll save your country. He'll save your country. He doesn't want anything to do with the Americans. I've just been telling you what the Americans do and what the EU do. escalation all the time, escalate wars all the time. And if you don't, look at Oban of Hungary. Look at them. I'm not supporting you lot. Well, you support death. Death. That's your democracy. You're welcome to it, Tally. I do know. Did you hear about the computer hacker from London called Gary McKay? Yes. Yes. He hacked into NASA and found images of craft and lists of non-terrestrial officers. Yes. He had, he was suffering from autism, wasn't he, that lad? He was lucky, you know, because he would have ended up in jail and would have died there. But this is, Ali, the news, but this is not democracy. Letting bad people take advantage of the good ones is not democracy. That's what's happening. That's what's happening. Do you know what's happening in Ukraine? Do you know what Zelensky and his cronies have done? They butchered people. They went into churches and desecrated the churches and locked the priests up just because they were Russian Orthodox priests and nuns. Locked up all the opposition. Put them in jail, still in fucking jail. That's democracy. That's their democracy. That's not democracy, Ali. This is democracy, what I'm doing in here and you listening. That's your democracy. I could get locked up tomorrow. By just saying this. All roads seem to point in one direction, says Derek. But we're not allowed to say who to, like we didn't know. Yes. Sums up everything now. Thank you, Derek. Personally, me, Frank, I'm sure they're trying to get Israel Prime Minister on war crimes. But he'll retire in the US when he eventually loses power. No, but he'll have to leave. What'll have to happen then? He's a war criminal. He's a fucking war criminal. That's what he is. A war criminal. Seeing the devastation and murder of babies, little children, adolescent children, younger men, women, everybody being smashed. They don't want any Palestinians there at all. Genocide, bombing tents, machine gunning people. Horrible people. Horrible. And he's allowing it. And we're fucking sitting back doing nothing. Yet we want to help them. We want to help them. So what he'd have to do, have you noticed, is what happened. The ICC, they were doing cartwheels when they put out an arrest warrant for Putin because he saved lives. He saved children's of lives, children's, all these orphans and, even parents saying, can you take our charge, put them in a safe place till after this. And he got war crime for that, for kidnapping. How pathetic. They were all doing cartwheels and everything. Yeah, I got them. As soon as one came out for Netanyahu, well, listen, we'll sanction you. And any country, this is your democracy, Ali. Any country that says they'll arrest Netanyahu will be sanctioned. Oh, What? What for? For arresting a war criminal. They'll be sanctioned. Oh, this is the same fella, isn't it? He got 58 standing ovations in the American Congress. 58 standing ovations. That's a fucking bird. That's it. Netanyahu. Fucking shocking. So what will happen to Netanyahu? I mean, you notice they've gone out, well, sanction or whatever, and they're all falling apart now, saying, oh, well, we won't arrest him, we won't arrest him. Because if he can't get out of Israel without going into a country to refuel, to get to America. There's no way he could get on a fucking ship because the Houthis would have him. So the only way to get out of Israel, to fly out, because that's what will happen. They'll get him out, you know, that little war at the Lebanon, and, you know, everybody else will be carrying on, and he'll get out, and they'll just make him welcome, and they don't go back, you know, you're all right, you're safe. That's what will happen. And Myra says, Frank, we all live in the Truman Show. The truth is out there, of course. Of course. Of course, Myra. Frank, now Trump is in power, do you think there'll be another pandemic? And nothing would surprise me with these Americans. He's not in power yet until the 20th of January. So they mightn't be a tomorrow, they mightn't be in the next day, they mightn't be anything, because I don't like these. There's, look, America, this fucking fella who's, this Kellogg, wants to give, and he's going to be the new, what is he going to fucking be? Who's the new defense, is it him? Defense minister for Trump, and he wants to give nukes to Zelensky. That's what he fucking do. Once that happens, gone, we're gone. There'll be a nuclear war. Nothing surprised me with Americans, though, James. Nothing. Don't trust them. Never have done. Never will do. I remember the Olsen case, very suspicious. Richard, oh, go away, do you? Very good, Richard. God blimey, son. Thank you. It's not, let's not forget Boeing, yes, says Derek. Yes. Well, Frank, if you remember, our own security forces tried to smear the then Prime Minister, Harold Wilson, with being an agent of Russia. Governments might change, civil servants don't. That was the Americans, that. Get fucking shot of him, they said. And all of a sudden, he just retired, didn't he? He was one of our greatest Prime Ministers, was Harold Wilson. An economic genius. He was. Don't know whether you're aware of that. Economic genius. Get rid of him. And all of a sudden he became ill, didn't he? That was the Americans. Never trust an American in the house. There's my little pin going. Fucking everywhere. This. Thank you for that, Derek. It was definitely a different force to build the pyramids. Of course it was, James. And getting back to Derek, the civil servants is MI6 and MI5. That's who your civil servants are. Never trust them. Callum, conspiracy theory is that Maddie McCann's parents know where she's at and what to get famous, so they hid her. I don't think they wanted to get famous, but there's more to little Maddie's. Honestly, there's more to Maddie's disappearance. Ever found her, have they? I went to Bordeaux when I was 10, Frank, says James. And the family friend's home we stayed in, their neighbours literally was about a quarter of a mile away. But I had a great time, especially Frog's Legs. Absolutely beautiful. Let's go. Thank heaven for this cargo. For this cargo go down very well. Did you like that? I haven't even had a drink, Redbird. Hello, Myra. You all right, says Callum. That's nice to know. I'm going to go right through these. There's my lucky number right down there. Jesus. Wow. The lucky number came up there. Do you think I should do the lottery? I don't gamble. Eric von Zeineken, I have every book. Oh, but you should read Graham Hancock. His theory is that long ago there was an advanced human race that was wiped out. Wouldn't surprise me. Graham Hancock. Long as it's not that Matt Hancock. That fella who should be in jail. He should be serving 45 years in without parole. Yes, that Van Guy, I've read Chariots of Fire and other books. Very interesting. Callum, says Myra, we cannot handle the truth. Really is what you think. Yes. Okay. Cats are supposed to be protecting against evil entities, I heard, or something like that, mate. Yeah, still can't find the species of them, though. Black cats. Well, come to the Truman Show, people. Are like mushrooms kept in the dark and fed. Yes. Kicking off in Syria as well? Yes, says IBR. Of course they are. The petrodollar is finished. BRICS are seen to that. Yes. The Redbird. Frank, man of truth, of facts. Thank you. Gary McKinnon adds Asperger's. Thanks, Richard. Democracy, more like democracy. It is a mockery to call anything democracy. People, I'll have to finish. Poor Frank's absolutely freezing. I've got no heating in my house. So, honestly, it's terrible. So, have you enjoyed it? Been great talking to you, you know. It really, I'm sorry I only done 2.5, you know, I did that Frank Olsen, didn't I? About him. But at least, you know, we had the UFOs, we had Queen Elizabeth. No one can change my mind about Elizabeth, definitely a fella. Too many things going on. Too many about. Myra. Take care, everyone. Thank you, Myra. You take care too. I'm having my don't forget as well, tomorrow my film and TV review. I'll be on my own again. Or have I got someone on with me? I'm not quite so sure. Oh yeah, I've got Derek. I asked him to review a couple of films. I'll be. Oh, thanks, Redbird. You're the man, mate. Everyone. Brilliant show, Frank. Thank you. You're the man. Thank you so much. So listen, if you want to join me tomorrow, this cold snap, film and TV review. Film and TV review. And next week, I'll let you know what happened to me in France. And you'll go, what? Myra, about movies, cannot get 65. Myra, if you've got YouTube, you'll be able, honestly, Adam Driver, you'll be able to get it, honestly, 65, just search it on YouTube. You've got it, honestly, it's on there. I couldn't believe it when it was on there. Adam Driver. I'll tell everyone on here a film to watch. It's one of my favourites, and it's a small budget one, and it was made by the and watch it. Even watch the credits. Why am I doing that? I always do that too. Oh, God, fucking mad. Watch the credits at the beginning of Extraterrestrial. Just watch it and you'll go, reminds me of something. It's a great take on everything. Extraterrestrial. And it really is good, honestly. Michael Ironside is the only name I know who's in it. Michael Ironside plays a good part as well. But what? Oh, and Gil. I forget his second name. Gil Gerard is it? Something like that. Brilliant. It's a very good film. Watch it. Terry, when can have a guy stand up in Parliament deliberately to prattle on and time out an important motion? You know, democracy is a sham. It is. It's a sham. Of course it is. Derek, thanks. Thanks, Frank. Thank you, Derek. Going to search for that now. Watch it, Derek. And watch when it comes on. The titles, you know. Just watch it. You'll go. Good film. One of my faves. And watch it right through. I'm going, people. Thank you so much. Love you all. Hope to see some of you tomorrow. And if I don't see you tomorrow, have a great weekend. And see you on Monday or Tuesday. Okay? Thank you. Mille grazie. Ci vediamo. Ciao tutti. Bella.